Are you interested in attending Special Forces assessment and selection? Are you prepared to go? Have you done everything that you can that's within your power to ensure that you're able to attend, crush, and get selected? If there's any hint of hesitation there, guys, more than likely the answer is no. With that in mind, I want to give you another tool that you can gravitate towards that's going to help you get that much more prepared. If you haven't done so already, guys, check out the description box below. Go to the Patreon. There you'll have access to a variety of prep courses that I've put together geared towards helping you attend and crush Special Forces in selection. Once you get signed up, you'll get access to the Discord where at any given times, there's 90 other dudes on there that's currently going through the Special Forces journey. Some of them are currently at airborne school. Others have just graduated basic and AIT. Others have been a selection. Some have gotten selected. Some haven't. But it's a community that I'm trying to build to give you guys an outlet so you could communicate with guys that are currently going through the same process. And on top of that, guys, you'll get access to me at any given times for any question that you might have. So if you have any doubt, guys, on whether or not you are ready to attend, I encourage you to check out the Patreon, all right? It's going to cost you $19 to either live a life of fulfillment or a life of regret. Fulfillment in knowing that you paid the $19 to go get the information that's going to give you the edge over the next dude to attend and crush selection. Regret in knowing that you didn't spend that $19 to give yourself an edge. Now you attended and failed selection. It's $19. If you don't like what you see at the Patreon, you can always cancel your subscription, guys. The intent here, guys, is to help you prep so you could attend and crush selection. So if you haven't done so already, go over to the Patreon. I'll see you there. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to speak to you guys about 5 leadership mistakes that I've made throughout my military career. Now this one will be mainly focused on special operations, mainly because I feel like once I became a leader there, I truly reached my potential. Now I'm talking about as an E8 and into the first sergeant role as I was leading my men, right? I'm hoping that in sharing these mistakes with you, somebody out there will get something from them and that'll prevent them from making those same mistakes so they too could become a better leader. I truly believe that the state that we're in nowadays, there's a lot of leadership lacking, not only in the military, but also in the civilian sector. So hopefully somebody out there will watch this and they'll look themselves in the mirror. They'll admit their mistakes. They'll admit their shortcomings, and then they'll do something about it to hopefully lead the individuals that are under them in a better manner. Number one mistakes that I've made as a Special Forces leader was assuming that every Special Forces operators knew exactly what the standard was and they knew exactly how to do their job. Now that's a big misconception because you step into a team room and you expect everyone to have a tab and a beret. You expect all of them to be on the same level as far as performance. However, that's not the case. There's a lot of outside factors that go into an individual's ability to perform. So what I lacked to do was counsel. I didn't hold counseling sessions when I first started, letting everyone know exactly what the standard was as far as my expectations of them. And as a result of that, I was getting 100% from some dudes. I was getting 50 from others. I was getting 200 from some other dudes. I quickly had to revamp the way that I did things and put a system in place that would allow me to sit down with all of my newer guys and explain to them, this is the standard from my perspective. This is what I expect you to do, and lay it all out in black and white. And what that did was it put everyone on the same level because everyone at this point knew exactly what my expectation was from them. And going forward, if things were either below the standards or above the standard, I also had a system in place to let guys know, hey, you're performing above my standards. Good job. Here's a freaking attaboy. And for the guys that weren't, it was like, hey, you're performing below my standards. I need you to get it up or else X, Y, and Z was going to happen. So as a leader, it's very important to let your subordinates know exactly what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And also lay out the standards at the very beginning so they know what the expectations are. So that way when you go to them and say, hey, person X, you're messing this up, they can't come back at you and say, well, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. Number two, as far as the biggest mistakes that I made as a Special Forces leader, was I spent a lot of time inside my team room focusing and worrying about what was going on in there, and didn't spend enough time outside my team room building external relationships. And this is what I mean by that. So growing up, I was a big fan of, hey, I'd rather have 11 guys have my back than have, that lonely sergeant major or that lonely, major or that command sergeant major, like me. I'd rather have my 11 dudes know that I got their back and know that I'll take care of them, as opposed to everyone outside the team room. Now, I quickly realized that that was flawed thinking on my end. Now, I still continued to take care of the guys in the team room. However, this is what it did as far as my career and the guys. Those dudes ultimately are decision makers. So even though team room was cohesive, everybody was having a good time, I loved it, the dudes loved it, when it came to our fate, those guys held the key. Now, that's a mistake that I made, because what I should have been doing was focusing all my efforts in the team room as well as outside the team room, massaging all those different personalities to ensure that my guys are taken care of, but also that the command is happy with what's going on in the team room. And that's something that I didn't do as far as taking care of those external relationships, right? Because that can lead to my team getting a better mission. My guys staying on the team a lot longer and not being volunteered to go to SWIC. There's a lot of factors that could have been solved if I had made sure that those relationships was where they needed to be. As a result of me not doing that, I had a variety of guys being pulled off my team towards the end of my team sometime and being shipped off to other companies, right? But had I had those relationships, I could have easily went to him and say, hey man, like, what's going on? Let's hash it out to where the plan made sense, right? So that's something that I wish I had done better as a leader within the last couple of years of my career. Let's move on to number three. Another thing that I could have done better as a leader is not let others' opinion of you bother you. It's actually harder said than done, especially when you're a super A-type dude in a super competitive environment. If you hear anybody talking smack about you, the automatic response is to go to that individual, square up with them, and you guys hash it out because it's something that's being said behind your back. There's been instances where I would let rumors or what others are saying about me get to a point where it would affect my moods. And I quickly learned to just let that go, because a buddy of mine said it best. He was like, in the jungle, do you think an elephant worries about what an ant thinks? And that made perfect sense, because it's like the higher you get in the food chain, the more people are going to talk about you. The bigger you are, the more individuals are going to talk about you, right? So that's something that I wish I learned very early on throughout my SF career, because that would have made my stay as a leader a lot easier and a lot more favorable. The next thing I wish I did a better job at is not taking the words of all of my subordinates for face value. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, not all subordinates are created equal, right? There were some guys that I had that were awesome. They did a magnificent job, but there was others that I had that were, they knew that I trusted them, and they abused that trust in a way that led to their demise, right? They would tell me, hey, no, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. I was at home doing this. That's not accurate at all. And come to find out, they were completely lying to me. And that put me in a position where, yes, I want to take care of them, but I also have a job to do, right? So I crushed them, right? Because I'm a big fan of giving you enough rope to hang yourself. But once you hang yourself, buddy, that's on you. So that's something that I wish that I had done a little bit better, is managing my subordinates a tad bit better to where I would safeguard them from themselves. Last but not least, guys, I wish I did a better job at managing calling people out. Now, I'm a big fan and I'm a big believer in calling people out when they mess up and then hashing everything out right then and there so it doesn't happen again. However, you still need to be tactful in how you do that. Certain individuals react differently when they're called out. I personally don't mind it. I see it as them doing me a favor. I always use the analogy if, hey, you and I are boys and we're out running around and you smell my breath and it smells like crap, yet you don't have the balls to tell me that it does. Instead, you're letting me go around just fucking up the place. What type of friend does that make you? So I personally appreciate it. However, not everyone sees it that way. So definitely something that I could have done a tad bit better coming up in the SF realm, because when you call somebody out, if they're not used to it, if they don't want that to happen, it kind of put them on blast and embarrasses them, right? So that's something that I wish as a leader I did a better job at managing, was calling folks out and pointing out their flaws and trying to help them fix it. All right, guys, a big part of being a leader is identifying your weak spots and then working on them to make you better. So I hope in me doing this and sharing this with you, you get some type of value out of it. All right, if you do, let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.